Welcome back to the Course Creation Incubator. I'm Gina Onotivia, your guide through the entire course creation journey, making sure you get across the finish line and see that course creation dream realized. And when it comes to that dream, I've seen too many potential course creators give up because of the money factor. Because I know how many new small businesses are impacted by cash flow. In fact, the top two causes of small business failure: one, no market need, and that's a conversation for another episode. And two, they ran out of cash. Here's another statistic. 82% of businesses that fail do so because of cash flow issues. And one more. 65% of small business owners admitted to not being fully confident they had enough money to even start their business. Now, I haven't polled course creators about this yet, but I've got to imagine those numbers would break down pretty much the same. Though it doesn't take a ton of money to get started with course creation, it does take a bit of an investment. And I've seen folks who wanted to, say, buy a program or hire a coach like me and not be able to do it because of a lack of funds. And as a result, the course stays just a dream. It's just an idea. Now, that doesn't sit well with me, because if you are seeing results, if you know you're ready to serve your students, if you have an idea burning inside of you, ready to bust out, you and I have to make sure it comes to fruition. I want to make sure that money isn't a barrier for you to get your online course done. Because at the end of the day, there's so many benefits to building your online course and releasing it. From leveraging your time, to having another offering for your business, to having money that works for you while you sleep. There's so many benefits that let's not let the money factor hold you back. Today, I want to break down some ways that I've seen my course creation students make a little bit of money and get that much needed cash injection to help finance their course creation. And I want you to know, full transparency here, I'm intentionally recording this episode for this very moment because my 6-week accelerator is about to start up again. And if you've been thinking about building an online course, but something's getting in the way, maybe you don't know the steps, or you're feeling overwhelmed, or you're just looking for the right person to hold your hand, I want you to think about joining me for my 6-week accelerator. It's coaching with me. You're working one-on-one with me in a small group setting, figuring out what works for you in terms of your course creation. Because online courses are not one size fits all. I want to help you create the course that's right for you, that's right for your students. And if cash is getting in the way of you investing in your course creation, I want you to listen to this episode, make a little money, save up, and join me. Now, I only do the 6-week accelerator a few times a year, and I want you to be there. Because the sooner you get your course done, the sooner it can bring you in some money. All right, let's dive into those ways for you to make a little bit of cash to help finance your course right now. Here's way number 1. Release a sneak peek of your online course that you're planning to build. Now, I've talked about Megan Helmsley as part of this podcast, and we affectionately call her the donkey hooves woman. While working with the Accelerator program, Megan released her course all about trimming donkey hooves. So she took content she already had, 4 lectures and webinars, 2 that she did for a hoof school and 2 for UC Davis, and put together an additional resource which she called a handling playlist, which were videos on how to handle donkeys. She labeled it as a foundations course and sold it for $67. Now, she knew if they don't want to buy my bigger course eventually, they can start with my $67 course. And because she already had the content, she was able to throw it together pretty quickly and start bringing in income as she worked on her main course. What I really like about this strategy is that Megan is prepping her audience to be ready to buy. They pull out their credit card for this lower price point course. They learn to trust her and her knowledge. And then when she releases her larger, more expensive course, they want to spend the money to get even more expertise from Megan. It vets her audience so she knows who her buyers are versus who are the tire kickers. Another way to make money when you're first starting out is to find an investor. Here's another thing that Megan did when she was first starting out and she wanted to join the accelerator. She knew she needed the money to do so. So somebody decided to sponsor her and invest in her so she could take the class. So this was before she was building the mini course. So this person paid her way through the accelerator. And the return on investment is pretty amazing. Megan's case, she made more than $50,000 last year on her courses alone. That's about a 5,000% return. So if you have someone, a friend, family member, maybe even an old mentor, who you can tap to sponsor you in your course creation, ask for help. While I was doing research for this episode, the top 3 financing methods and from a few years ago for small businesses, personal funds, not surprising, is number 1, a bank loan, and then number 3, borrowing from friends and family. So don't be afraid to ask. I'm sure you have friends, family, mentors that believe in you and want to see you succeed. So think about that as another way to get a cash injection into your course creation business. Okay, let's move on to number 3. Collaborate and make a one-time low price offer. An example of this would be my accelerator student Tracy Summerford, who did a collaboration with her local co-op to help teach couples how to make an incredible Valentine's Day dinner. As you can imagine, we were in the throes of a pandemic back in February, so couples couldn't go out for Valentine's Day. So Tracy's a chef, and she knew she had the knowledge to do a package. She couldn't necessarily go into people's homes and cook for them. So she teamed up with a co-op, and any couple who bought this package, I think it was $60 or $70, picked up the food from the co-op and then got a video from Tracy, a personalized video about how to cook the dinner. So it's a great way for Tracy to get some cash going in February as she plans to release her course and her membership site in the next few months. So think about that. Who could you team up with to do a quick workshop or a one-time offer like this? So Tracy teamed up with an in-person entity, the co-op that provided the ingredients to local couples in person, and then she offered a virtual complement. How could you do something like that? Who could you collaborate with? I've got to imagine this co-op already has an audience, so Tracy's benefiting from that audience as well. Think about a group or person who has an audience that you can really serve in the form of a short-term offer. And the great thing about this is you don't need a list. You don't need 1,000 people in your Facebook group because you're really leveraging off of the collaborator's audience. And by the way, it's a low price point on purpose. It's under $100. It's a limited time offer. It's a cash injection. You're probably never going to do it again. Super special, win-win. Okay, cash injection way number 4, become an affiliate. Now, it doesn't matter if you have a list. You might be saying, Gina, how am I going to become an affiliate when I barely have a following? If you have a little bit of a passionate following, you can become an affiliate and make some money partnering with different brands. There's a few ways to go about this. Number 1, you could do Instagram and become an influencer. If you go back and listen to episode 22, the episode I did with Cynthia Wheeler, you'll hear Cin's tips for building a fanatical following, and you'll learn how to become a paid Instagram influencer. There are a few sites listed in the show notes for that episode as well that'll connect you with the brands looking for influencers within your niche or whatever your niche may be. A great example of this, or someone who I think should be doing this, I haven't told her this yet, but if you're listening, Kimmy, one of my accelerator grads talks to middle-aged women about what it feels like to be experiencing, well, midlife. Now, there are a whole slew of products that Kimmy could become an affiliate for. Products, supplements, workouts, clothing lines, so many different things. I think this would be a great way for Kimmy to make some extra cash just by being passionate about something and leveraging her audience. So Kimmy, if you're listening to this, let's go leverage that podcast. All right, lady? Think about who you might be able to team up with as an affiliate or as an influencer, especially if you already have an audience like Kimmy does with her podcast. By the way, if you've got a podcast or a Facebook group or some kind of audience, and you've got a group of women, you're talking to 100 people once a month, this is a captive audience. Don't be afraid to offer up resources for them. I think it's an absolutely brilliant way to earn a little cash while you're building your course. And they'll be thankful that you're offering them resources. They trust you. They look to you as an expert in your field. They naturally want to hear resources from you and recommendations. Keep that in mind. Okay, it's time for our 5th and final way to make money when you're first starting up, and this is with paid webinars. So I have a great story about this. I had a grad student named Elaine who had a passionate audience of colorists and wasn't quite able to convert on, say, a $400 or a $500 course. She came to me because she wasn't converting with their courses. At that point, she had made maybe, let's say, $1,500 over the course of a year. The thing about Elaine was she had a great audience. They just weren't prepared to pay that much yet, to pay that $400 price for a course. So we started paid webinars at $20 a pop. Now, because she had an audience, Elaine was able to sell 73 spots for her first webinar. So that's about $2,000, a little over $2,000 instant cash. Then she did a series of those webinars, then additional ones at $47, and then eventually made her way up to $97 a webinar. As she built up her confidence, she would sell those courses at the end of the webinars, and bam, she had a customer path. So it started out as a strategy for cash injection. And now I'm proud to say that Elaine had her first $100,000 year last year as a course creator because of this strategy that we worked on together a few years ago. She started small, she built little by little, and now she's up to $100,000 a year as a course creator and just growing from there. She was able to sell her salon, move to Florida, and that's something that she had always dreamed of, and now she made it happen because she started with this cash injection. All right, let's go through those 5 ways again. 1, repurpose old content, release a mini course, a smaller price point. 2, find an investor. Find someone to sponsor you who really believes in you. 3, collaborate and make a one-time low price offer, maybe with somebody who has an existing audience that you can leverage. 4, become an affiliate or an influencer. And then 5, try out some paid webinars that are a lower price point. All right, so which of these strategies may work for you? I would love to know other suggestions that you have for a quick cash injection. Write to me at Course Creation Boutique on Instagram and let's share some ideas. And meanwhile, if you're thinking about creating an online course, I would love to work with you. I talked about the 6-week accelerator earlier. Go to coursecreationboutique.com/6 weeks. Grab a spot on my accelerator waitlist. Spots will go quickly because it's a small group. And if you join the waitlist now and enroll, you'll get a special bonus when we start up with the accelerator in a few weeks. Next week, I'm bringing on a student of mine who broke through the overwhelm of course creation to have a really successful first launch. Anne's an incredible example. If she can launch a course, you can too. So check that out next week. Please rate and review this episode, especially if you're listening on iTunes, and then subscribe. Until next week, go create, be you and be brilliant, and get it done.